Okay folks, today making hot dog soup. I've got this in the oven on 375. You can use hot dogs, you can use chicken sausage, beef sausage, summer sausage, whatever. Just cut it into coins, set it on a tray on parchment paper. I've got a big tray here. Use as much as you need. I have cut up 2 chicken sausages, alright, and sprayed it with cooking spray. And I'm going to bake them until they're brown. In this 10-quart pot, I have onions. I've sliced up 3 onions. Use as many as you want. Omit them if you don't like onion. And I have about 2 cups of celery. You don't have to use that much. Like I said, I'm trying to fill a 10-quart pot. And I'm going to saute them until the onions are tender and the celery is tender. I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter and a tablespoon of oil in there. Here I have peeled and cubed about 8 to 10 medium potatoes. Here I have a seasoning blend that I whip up myself. You can use any kind of bouillon you want. You can use chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, vegetable bouillon. So whatever you want to use, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to peel your own potatoes, you can use canned potatoes, that's fine. A couple of cans of diced potatoes will be just fine. Just be sure to rinse them off. Here I have 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes. I have a can of peas, can of pinto beans, can of hominy. If you don't like hominy, you can use corn. Here I have 2 cans of mild Rotel, generic Rotel, it's the Walmart brand, and a can of carrots. And here I have an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Now in this strainer I have a can of peas, a can of carrots, a can of hominy, a can of pinto beans. This is all going to get a rinse. If you're using canned potatoes instead of fresh potatoes, same thing, just put them in here, give it a rinse. So why am I rinsing the canned vegetables? Because some people say, well, the juices in the canned vegetables are where the nutrients are. That may be, but I like a really clear broth, and I like it to have a certain flavor. I don't want it to taste like canned corn juice, canned hominy juice, canned peas juice, canned beans juice. I want it to have a very distinctive flavor because I make my own broth bouillon mixture, and that's the flavor that I want it to have. So I don't want a clash of flavors in my broth, so that's why I do that. But this is your soup. You do it how you want. Now that the onions and celery are pretty much done, I'm going to put that in the strainer too. And now I'm going to cook the potatoes. But like I said, if you're using canned potatoes, you don't have to do that step. I'm going to turn the eye on high and cook the potatoes. Why am I not cooking everything at the same time along with the potatoes? Because the potatoes are going to have to cook down and get tender. And if I cook the other canned vegetables with it, then the canned vegetables are going to turn to mush. So will the onions, so will the celery. I just want the onions and celery to be tender for the soup, but I don't want them to be all mushy and disintegrate while I'm cooking the potatoes. So here I have the chicken sausage. It's all nice and brown now. Took it out of the oven, and that's going to be the last thing that gets added. Okay, so the potatoes are thoroughly cooked. It's time to add the vegetables that are in the strainer. Okay, now that that's done, it's time to add the petite diced tomatoes. We don't rinse those. That's the reason I didn't put them in the strainer. And that's 2 cans, and then 2 cans of the Rotel. A can of the tomato sauce. And now it's time to add the meat. Okay, now added the meat. Going to give it a stir. Going to add some water. And then I'm going to add the seasonings. So here we go. I've added my water. Okay, you could add some fresh or dried parsley at this point if you wanted to. But when I chopped the celery, I chopped the leaves along with it, and so that's what you're seeing there. That's not parsley, that's celery leaves. Doesn't that look good? Now it's time to season to taste using whatever powdered bouillon or even cubed bouillon you want to use. So why don't I cook this with the bouillon the whole time? Well, bouillon has a lot of salt. This meat has a lot of salt in it. The canned vegetables, a lot of salt. So I want to see what it tastes like before I start adding something that is very high in salt. So I made some cornbread. Unsweetened cornbread is great with this. You could also use rolls, or garlic bread. Anything like that you think is good with soup. So there you have it. How does that look? It looks beautiful, doesn't it? This would feed a family of 5 for about 2 days. This was like 2 dinners, and I loved it. My dad made hot dog soup, and this is how he made it, only he used chicken bouillon, and I use a different kind of bouillon. But yeah, that's how it comes together. And if you try it, let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you have any questions, let me know that too. Have a good day. Bye-bye.